Are you looking to coach athletes in the gym, lead performance programs, or advance in the field of strength and conditioning? The CSCS is the top credential trusted across sports and performance settings. In the next few minutes, we'll take a look at the exam requirements, break down the main content areas and structure, and highlight preparation pathways. Before we dive into the exam itself, let's take a quick look at what the CSCS is and why it's recognized as the worldwide leader in strength and conditioning. Created in 1985, the Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist was the first certification of its kind to earn accreditation from the National Commission for Certifying Agencies, or the NCCA, meaning nationally recognized standards for quality, fairness, and validity. The strength of the CSCS is that it demonstrates your ability to apply scientific knowledge to real-world training. As a CSCS, you'll design and lead strength and conditioning programs, guide athletes through every stage of preparation, and make informed decisions that shape performance. Let's examine the environments where you can make an impact. The CSCS was originally designed for strength and conditioning coaches working with athletes in team settings. It remains the primary credential for coaching across levels, from high school to collegiate to professional. Today, the CSCS is also preferred or required in tactical strength and conditioning and private performance programs, as well as respected across fields in allied health and performance. If you see yourself in these roles, the next step is meeting the eligibility requirements. To sit for the exam, you will need to have a bachelor's degree or be enrolled as a college senior. You will also need a current CPR AED certification, which you can submit 1 year within passing the exam. Beginning in 2030, the U.S. candidates must hold a bachelor's degree from a CSCS accredited program. With eligibility covered, let's shift to how the exam is developed and regularly updated to meet the needs of the field. Every 5 years, the NSCA conducts a job task analysis, or JTA, a large survey of CSCS certified professionals across the collegiate, professional, tactical, and academic settings. Subject matter experts review the knowledge to define the skills, knowledge, and abilities, or KSAs, essential to the role. This process ensures the exam reflects the realities of the profession. The findings from the job task analysis are organized into the Detailed Content Outline, or DCO, the blueprint for the exam. Think of the DCO as a funnel. It starts with broad domains and then narrows into tasks before furthering narrow down into subtasks. It also shows the number of questions in each domain and the level of knowledge you'll be expected to demonstrate. From there, the Exam Development Committee takes the DCO and creates the exam questions. The committee includes experienced strength and conditioning coaches and educators trained in exam development, bringing both field knowledge and testing expertise to the process. Each question is based on evidence and carefully reviewed before it's included. New questions appear first as non-scored items, allowing them to be pre-tested for fairness and consistency before they ever count towards your score. With that foundation in place, let's explore how the CSCS exam is structured. The exam is made up of 2 sections. The first section is Scientific Foundation, with 80 scored questions and 15 non-scored, for a total of 95. You'll have an hour and a half to complete this section, which covers the first 3 DCO domains of exercise science, sports psychology, and nutrition. The second part of the exam is Practical Applied, with 110 scored questions plus 15 non-scored, for a total of 125. With that total, 30 to 40 questions are video or image-based. You'll have 2.5 hours for this section, which covers the other 4 DCO domains of program design, exercise technique, program implementation, and organization and administration. Across both sections, questions are written at 3 levels of difficulty: recall, application, and analysis. Recall questions focus on recognizing facts, definitions, or basic concepts. Application questions ask you to use your knowledge in a specific situation, like interpreting data or solving a problem. And analysis questions require weighing several factors before making a decision. This pyramid illustrates the approach you'll need for the CSCS exam. In 6 out of the 7 content domains, over 70% of the questions are at an application or analysis level. Now let's look at a few quick examples of what these levels look like in practice. Every CSCS exam question is multiple choice with 3 answer options, and all options are plausible, so you'll need to select the best answer. Here's a recall question. It asks you to recognize a single fact. Which of the following components of mechanical load is the least important for stimulating new bone formation? A, rest period, B, magnitude, or C, rate of loading? Correct answer, A. Now, here's an application question. It requires you to connect physiology to explain training adaptations. An untrained college-age athlete begins a resistance training program. After training for 3 weeks, her strength increases dramatically. Which of the following is the most influential factor responsible for this improvement? A, decreased cross-sectional area of type 1 fibers, B, increased number of muscle fibers, or C, improved neuromuscular efficiency? Correct answer, C. Finally, an analysis question. This one requires weighing multiple factors before deciding the right training goal. When programming the third microcycle of a preseason phase, as compared to the late off-season for a baseball team, what would be the shift in the primary training goal? A, basic strength to maximum strength, B, hypertrophy to maximum strength, or C, strength to rate of force development? Correct answer, C. After seeing those examples, it helps to keep a few test-taking strategies in mind. Read carefully. Watch for small distinctions like anaerobic versus aerobic, or in-season versus preseason. Pace yourself. Use the 1 minute per question guideline to manage your time and focus on choosing the best answer. Use context. Details such as sports, training phase, or athlete status can guide you to your decision. And pay attention to units and keywords. These details often point you towards the correct answer. Beyond how you approach each question, it's also important to understand how the exam is scored. The CSCS exam uses scaled scoring to keep the results fair across different exam forms. Your raw score, the number of questions you answer correctly, is converted into a scaled score from 1 to 100, and a 70 or higher is passing. The passing standard is set through the modified Angoff method, where experts review each question to determine the competency expected of a minimally qualified CSCS. So the standard reflects professional expectations rather than a curve. This is also why it isn't about getting X out of Y correct or hitting a simple percentage. Some questions demonstrate the required knowledge and skills better than others, and those questions carry more weight. The goal is to show how you meet the standard. It's a rigorous exam by design. It's not something you could cram for the night before. For the most current pass rates, please visit nsca.com/CSCS. With scoring explained, let's move on to what you can expect on exam day. The exam is delivered in person at secure testing centers through Pearson VUE, the NSCA's official exam proctor. At the testing center, you will be given an erasable whiteboard and a marker for scratch work, plus an on-screen calculator. The CSCS also includes a scheduled 15-minute break between the two sections. For more details, visit nsca.com/how-to-register. We've covered what the exam looks like. Now let's talk about how you can prepare for it. The amount of time you'll need to study depends on your background. With a degree in coaching experience, a few months may be enough. But without that foundation, plan for 6 to 9 months or more. The NSCA offers optional resources to support your preparation, including the Essentials of Strength and Conditioning textbook, the CSCS study guide, online practice questions, and exam prep live clinics, available both online and in person. It's important to note, these resources can help you structure your study, but are not required and do not guarantee a passing score. Ultimately, your preparation is what sets you up for success. The CSCS exam is rigorous by design because the profession demands it. But with dedicated focus and study, you'll be ready to demonstrate the knowledge and applied skills that set you apart in strength and conditioning. For full details and NSCA-produced resources, visit nsca.com/CSCS.